Ever since we stopped harpooning them in the 1960s, humpback whales have rebounded, reclaiming their old territory along the BC coast. In 2008, the first humpback in 100 years was reported in Howe Sound. Since then, visits by these wandering giants have slowly increased. For those of us looking for vital signs of Howe Sound Atl'kitsem's recovery, the visits of these whales has been a great inspiration. In 2017, for much of the month of October, several humpbacks were regular visitors to the waters off the west side of Bowen Island. I had a hunch they might be back again this fall, and as it turned out, I was right. One morning in early October 2018, I get a call from a friend. She's watching a humpback in the bay below her house on the west side of Bowen Island. So I grab my kayak and go. I paddle south along the shore, looking and listening. I get to Cape Roger Curtis, the southwestern point of Bowen Island. Oh, yeah! I am stunned by how the whale's presence breathes a magic into a place I know so well. Right off Cape Roger Curtis. But something else catches my attention. The whale's flukes have a pattern. I've heard that experts ID individual humpbacks by their unique tails. So my mind races. What if I knew this whale as an individual? That night, I send pictures of the whale's flukes to the experts, the BC Cetacean Sightings Network and the Marine Education Research Society, or MERS as it is known. To my amazement, I get a clear answer: Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is at least 10 years old and has been sighted from the Strait of Georgia and Howe Sound to northeast Vancouver Island. MERS named Cassiopeia for the W-like marking on the left fluke, similar to the shape of its namesake constellation. The next evening, I'm back out on the water again. I'm hooked. This is so exciting. I head to an island where I've got a good vantage. A winter flock of scoters is feeding nearby. I'm watching some roosting cormorants when I hear the blow. The whale is heading north, towards Hut Island, where I notice there's a cluster of gulls, likely feeding on a school of feeder fish. A few minutes later, the whale's head breaks the surface. It's lunge feeding, swimming hard up through a fishbowl with its mouth open. As the sun sets, I watch and wonder what the whale's feeding on. The next evening, I get a clue. As soon as I launch, I see a swirl of gulls along the shore. So I head over to take a look. At least 20 seals are in with the gulls, as well as a sea lion. So I lower my camera, right into a huge school of anchovy. I bet it's the anchovy that are drawing the humpback here. A few days later, I get a morning start. A cold easterly is blowing, and I head to Cape Roger Curtis. I am barely out of my boat when I see a whale. The distinctive hump ahead of the dorsal fin is a giveaway that it's a humpback whale. The whale surfaces, then does a half cartwheel. What is up? And I wait for more. But a half hour passes and the whale's gone. So I head for home. But almost immediately, I paddle into a swirl of gulls with some seals. There must be a school of anchovy, so I lower my camera. Yes, anchovy. The ocean explodes. The whale lunges up through the anchovy, just 10 meters away. The whale surfaces again, right ahead of me. Then a little further away. Now it's on my other side, heading toward the shore. I'm really unnerved by this close encounter. It's just foolish to be out here on a fishbowl with a whale nearby. So I head for shore. The whale is still just offshore and dives, showing its almost completely black flukes. Definitely not Cassiopeia that I saw a couple days ago. So this is a different whale. I will have to find out who. And just as exciting, I now know that the whale is here to feed on anchovy. Again, I send photos to the experts. The whale's name? Glacier. Glacier is at least 7 years old and has been reported from Campbell River to Howe Sound. Glacier's name comes from the frosting of white along the trailing edge of its flukes. Several days later, I head out one late afternoon. The water is a mirror. It's magical. Then, at a moment when I'm just enjoying the quiet, a whale surfaces. Then another. I wait for a chance to see their telltale flukes. Yes, one is Glacier. But the other whale, with lots of white on its tail, I haven't seen it before. The whales turn and are now headed my way. I am so thankful for my telephoto camera that makes me feel like I'm right beside them. I'm struck by how the whales move in concert. Almost breathing together. Then one whale surfaces to the north. It's Glacier. All goes quiet. Then it's the second whale with the big white patch on its flukes. The two whales come together to the west. Then the whales are gone. Just amazing. So I get back in touch with one of the MERS experts, Jackie Hildering. She tells me that the second whale is Yogi. Yogi's been known to MERS since 2006, from southern Vancouver Island through the Salish Sea, north to the mid-coast, and even Hawaii in the winter. Jackie named Yogi for the bear-like face on the left fluke. Yogi is presumed to be a male, given that it's never been seen with a calf. Jackie also tells me that these humpbacks come to feed in BC waters only from spring to fall. They head south to Hawaii or Mexico for the winter calving season. I finished the call swept up in emotion. My ocean had changed. These magnificent beings were not just whales. They were individuals. But in talking to Jackie, something else became clear. Along with the joy that the whales bring come responsibilities. Collisions between boats and whales are now more common. Both killing and maiming whales and injuring people. Boaters need to be alert, as humpbacks can surface without warning or change direction randomly, or even become acrobatic. Good advice is, if you see a blow, go slow. And so it is that after a century of absence, these graceful giants are back, bringing with them a beauty and magic I have not experienced before in the waters around my island home.